Okay, okay. Thank you very much. All right, all right. Okay, please, do ensure to pin Stephanie Titco, pin it so you can see my video. Done? Yes, okay, okay. I'm liking everyone's energy today. I like this energy. Someone says you can't hear. Please check your network. Please check your network. Be starting up very soon. Okay, okay, loud and clear. Thank you. Okay, we'll be giving a few more minutes for some people to join in before we start. I apologize, everyone. I was on mute. Can everyone hear me well now? Okay, okay, okay. So, welcome everyone to today's Career Masterclass. Um, okay, I want to feel the crowd a bit. So, who is excited to be here? What do you expect to gain from today's session? Let me see your answers. I think someone is trying to say something. Okay, okay. Chioma is very excited. Okay. Who else? Who else is excited? Okay, we have a lot in store for you today. Okay, so I'll be starting us off with a very important question. So, okay, Andrew is happy. Thank you. So, what is the one thing you want to get out of the masterclass? What is the one thing you are expecting to get from this masterclass? Your answers, your answers. Okay, for those that did not hear me, I said, what is the one thing you're expecting to get? Okay, okay. Uh, okay, Andrew says enlightenment and network. That's very nice. Um, Amarachi says knowledge. Okay, we have awesome speakers in store for you for that. Okay, okay, okay. So someone said clarity and network. Okay, that's very nice. Who else? Who else is willing to share? Okay, that's it. Okay, everyone. Okay, I'm very sure we have um, our speakers are very ready for you, and you'll be able to network with them after the sessions as well because they'll be dropping their contacts and ways for you to reach them. So networking is definitely part of what we have in store. Okay, so this a bit about this masterclass. The Career Masterclass is a workshop organized by ISEC Nigeria and is themed upskilling for the digital age. It's designed to provide youths like you and I with important skills to help them build a successful career and connect them with platforms for professional development. So the way it's designed, the masterclass will be having a series of keynote sessions, 14 breakout sessions across both days. That's both day one and day two. And then we'll be having our partner slots. That means we have partners for these events. Okay, I'm sorry. I can see a message from someone. Can everyone hear me well? Hello, can someone please indicate? Babatunde, can you hear me well? Okay, okay, all right. So I'll just continue. So I was given a brief description about this masterclass, and okay. So I was explaining that the masterclass will be having keynote sessions, we'll be having 14 breakout sessions across various careers. We have digital storytelling, we have product management, fashion design, content. As well, we'll be having 3 partner slots. So we have partners for this event. We have PwC as a national partner, we have Study Free, we have Datalium, and then these partners will be coming on board as well to explain the opportunities that they have in store for you. As well, we'll be having a women only session only for ladies in the house with Tosin Toye. That will take place tomorrow on day two. And a brief about ISEC. ISEC in Nigeria that is organizing this masterclass. ISEC is a platform that facilitates internship for youths to expand their cultural understanding through exchanges, meaning you are leaving an environment that you are very convenient with, that you are very comfortable with, and going to another environment to make impact, right? And this unique platform allows young people to foster global cooperation and ultimately build a better world for every one of us. So ISEC has facilitated over 10,000 opportunities for youth in over 100 countries. And in Nigeria, we are present in 13 states and have a reach in over 20 tertiary institutions. And then we have our rich universities. I'm very sure some of us here will be ISECers. And if you are not and you're interested in joining, as well as in going for exchanges, you get details about it by the end of the session. Okay, so we have okay, so we'll be having our first keynote session. I'm very sure everyone is excited. Our first keynote session, and it's the title is Preparing for the Digital Age. So how do you get ready? How do you get prepared for this digital age, seeing that everything is going virtual, doing everything digitally? And we'll be having Dami Oke taking the keynote speech. Dami Oke is a fashion stylist. She's a creative director, image consultant, and radio host. And I'm very sure she's excited to take this session. Hello, Dami. You're here?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Very excited to have you. So everyone here too is ready.
Me too.
Okay, you're ready for us. So
Is
you have
everybody ready?
yes, yes, you have the floor.
Okay, hi everybody. Nice to meet you all. This is very scary talking to everyone, but Stephanie, I was just listening to you there, and well done on all the work that you guys have been doing. It's wonderful to see how many people you reach, and it's always good to help others as well. So well done on that for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you very much.
So just to speak on the topic, as Stephanie did say, I am a celebrity stylist, creative director, radio host, now TV host, as well. And yeah, it's very, very difficult in this Nigeria. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not hide, how hard it is. To work in Nigeria. There's so many things that are supposed to be easy, end up being very hard. So, let's not, I don't want to come here and say, yes, it's easy. You could do it. Great. You can do it, but just know that you have to be prepared for a lot of work, a lot of perseverance, and very, very thick skin when it comes to rejections and people saying no, and people not believing in your talents, and also most importantly in this country, people underpaying you for your value. Just because you are a creative, it does not mean that you shouldn't get paid for your work. I get it. You are you're very talented, you're very excited to do the work, but don't let anybody bamboozle you into saying, oh, we're just collaborating and this is going to be fun, it's going to be great for your career. It is, but make sure you get your money's worth. And just to hone in on the topic, or we're talking about, the digital age, it is the most important thing that's happening. It's the most important thing now to have a social media presence, dare I say it. So make sure that your social media is working for you. If you I'm just talking from a creative point of view, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you are a stylist yourself, TV host, radio host, whatever you do that's in the creative side, make sure that you do have a social media platform that you are using that works for you. So my medium, what I use the most is definitely Instagram. I use Instagram a lot just because it's visuals, and I'm a stylist, and what people need to see is my work. So I use Instagram stories a lot, and I use posting as well. Sometimes Twitter, but I see that pictures don't really do justice on Twitter when it compared to Instagram. So I that's the main medium that I use. But there's also loads of little apps as well that work that you can use that helps you with your Instagram. So let's say little apps like Mojo, Canva, InShot as well. Now, when it comes to Instagram algorithms, let's get a little geeky with this now. Instagram algorithms, what makes your post stand out is whether you use more visuals, so maybe more video work rather than pictures. Pictures are great, pictures are good, but we're moving towards an age where people want to see more videos. And now that Instagram Reels have come out, a lot of people, you can actually get on the Explore page if you use Instagram Reels, because it's a new platform on Instagram and they're trying to push that so much. So if you create, little 10-second, 15-second videos showing your work, showing what you have done, let's say if you are a photographer, get someone, a friend of yours, a cousin, whoever it is that you don't have to pay because I know we're just starting out and we're struggling. So you don't need to be paying someone to be following you around with a camera. I mean, everyone has a camera on their phone, right? So if you have a cousin, a friend, even anyone who wants to intern with you, have them follow you on your trips and get them to take some BTS behind the scenes footage of you doing what you're doing. So whether it is you're styling, you're a photographer, you're a filmmaker, you're an actor, whatever it is that you're doing, get them to do some little tiny videos of you working and doing what you're doing. And then they compile it together, and then that will you can put that on Instagram Reels and use InShot to edit. InShot is very good. It's free. It's very good for you to edit videos with. So you can use that. If you really want to create a logo, you can use Canva. Canva is very good as well to work to use for creating a quick logo. It's free. Once again, if we don't want to break the bank while we're starting out, so let's be proactive about finding things that work for you for cheap. Rather than paying someone to get you a logo, you can just play around with Canva and create your own logo and use that logo for everything that you do. Same thing with InShot. Rather than paying someone to record you and all of that, people like homemade videos now. People like that you're showing them behind the scenes, raw footage right there, going on Instagram Live. All of that helps you to just show your work more. And the problem about being a creative is that there's no directory to go to. I mean, if you were a lawyer or if you were, let's say, a doctor or whatever, maybe there might be a list of hospitals that would have your name there as the resident doctor. Or if you're a lawyer, you belong to a firm, and there'll be people recommending you to those firms. But when it comes to being a creative, there's not really a directory for us to decide, for us to be seen on. So it's very important that you put yourself out there so people can find you and people can actually get you, because you can only kind of get out there by people stumbling on your social media, stumbling on your LinkedIn, or it's by referral, or it's by mouth, word of mouth, that you're good at what you're doing, and someone will call you up and ask you to do something. So it's very important that you're out there and people can see your work. Nobody you I mean you How is anyone supposed to know that you are working and you are doing a certain thing if you don't show that you're doing it? And I think that is one of the major things that will pivot you from one place to another. So you have to make sure that you put in the work and invest in yourself in order for other people to invest in you. So when it is, if you're a makeup artist, you take a picture of your client with their permission, of course. Take pictures of your client, take videos of your clients, post it, ask your mom to sit down, do their makeup, your whoever it is that you can get your hands on. You don't need to pay for models and all of that when you're starting out. You might need to invest sometimes when you keep going, but initially there's always a way to get these things done. I think the digital age has been such a blessing for us in a sense that it's just getting a little bit easier to be noticed and to get the job done and to get yourself out there. But you have to use your social media a lot efficiently when it comes to it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube as well um, to show you just how things are done. You can learn about anything on YouTube in today. You can literally learn anything on YouTube. If you want to be a photographer, go on YouTube and it would show you everything on how to be a photographer. If you want to be a stylist, same thing. There's little academies on YouTube for you to learn everything. That is how advanced we are in the digital age. I mean, I know there's been a lot going on with university students and the strike and everything. If you want to learn more skills, go on YouTube and learn about it. And as a creative, all you have to make sure you push that out there and make sure that um, you advance in your knowledge to get things done. So that's what I'd say in terms of a digital age. If you haven't seen my Instagram is Dami DAMI underscore okay. That's OKE. So you can check it out and see just how I do my stories. Instagram stories as well is a very big thing. It gets people to see your personality, to see live what you're doing, to see how you're doing it, and to see just how efficient you are in your work. Make sure you save your stories onto your highlights as well. And do not forget LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very good as well. That's what kind of will help you pivot to an international level. So, you always say, how am I supposed to work with someone internationally? How am I supposed to meet other people across the world from me? And how are they supposed to see my work? Now, the best way to do it is through LinkedIn. I have a friend, her name is Sharifa, and she was one of the people who facilitated locations and production for Beyonce's Black is King. They shot it in Ghana, and the way they reached out to her was on Instagram and on LinkedIn, because she had put it on her Instagram that she sources great locations and she sources rare pieces and all of that, and she put examples of her work on her LinkedIn and on her Instagram. And Beyonce, okay, Beyonce's team reached out to her, and that is how she became a part of the Black is King project. So that is an international brand. It's Beyonce. I mean, you know what I mean? Who approached her because she had her work online and people could see it, and they reached out to her like that. It was not, because word of mouth can only travel as far as it can. So social media is just that little thing to help you along the way a little bit more to get to where you want to get to. So I can only speak to you from from a creative standpoint, as I am in the creative world. I mean, I'm also currently working with AudioMac. I don't know if anyone here knows AudioMac, and they've just moved to Africa, and they now have a huge platform in Africa now. And I have landed the job as their in-house stylist for AudioMac. So whenever any celebrities from across the world will come to Africa, I'm the one who's going to style them. Any celebrities that we have here, I'm the one who's going to style them. And the reason that happened was through word of mouth, and through Instagram as well. Someone reached out to me from the AudioMac team in New York and said that you seem to be one of the top stylists in Nigeria, as from what we can see your we've been watching your stories, we've been watching your work on Instagram, and we can see that you're pretty good at what you do. We would like you to be our head stylist in Audiomac, for Audiomac Africa, not Audiomac Nigeria, Audiomac Africa. And that was a huge thing. And that was because I put it on my social media that, I can do this work, I can do that work. And I got reached out to by an international company. Now I've done projects with them. I've gotten to style people like Thames. I've gotten to style people like Blackburns, Zlatan. Who else can I name? Joe Boy as well. There's lots more to come. They're working on a massive project at the moment that I'm a part of, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that. I mean, I've started also Niniola as well, and there's more people in the works. So it's always a good thing. Like you start from here, and it only takes one recommendation to get you to the top, to get you to that top spot that you want, and to get you paid for your work. So it is very good. And another thing I would say about um, you know, what utilizing the digital world when it comes to your work, you might not be um, there yet. Maybe you haven't styled a Joe Boy before, or you haven't worked with celebrities, and you want to, and you want to get to the top. There's always a thing called fake it till you make it. And the way the social media works is you can make your work look like it's an international thing when you use it right. Which is why I say, if you have cousins, family members, friends of yours that you can just work with, ask them. I mean, everyone wants to feel good, and this is for creatives. I mean, if you want to, be a photographer, if you want to be a makeup artist, you want to be a stylist or whatever, use the people around you, use your environment around you to take amazing shots, take amazing videos, take amazing content, and post it there. And I mean, maybe you haven't had your first client yet, but by doing that, it looks like you're very busy. It looks like you're working hard. It looks like there's a lot of people that are coming to you with work, and they don't need to know that they're your family members. Nobody needs to know. Nobody. Nobody needs to know until you get your first client, and then you can start posting them and keep going. Just keep creating content, even reaching out to um other people on social media. I did that a lot before I moved to Nigeria. So I grew up in Ireland, but when I moved to Nigeria, I didn't know anyone in Nigeria. I didn't know how to start, how to work, but I reached out to some people on social media. I saw other stylists, other makeup artists, other photographers, other models, and things like that. And I reached out to them and I said, "Can we do a collaboration? I'll bring clothes, you bring yourself. We'll collaborate with a photographer, and let's just do a free shoot." And we did that, and you'll be surprised by the amount of people who also want to create content as well, and they will put it together. And literally, you have yourself a free shoot. You've done it, you post it. Make sure you post it on your socials, your videos, pictures, whatever it may be, and post it out there. And that will get lots of feedback, especially if those other people have bigger followings than you, a lot more eyes on it. A lot of people will see it, and you start from there. And then a client will call you from somewhere and say, "Hey, I saw what you did on this so and so person. Can you do it for me? I will pay you." And that's how you start. So social media really, really helps when it comes to that. So you have to have that social media presence. If you're a creative, that's pretty much what it has to be. That's the bottom line of it. You have to have that presence if you are a creative, just to get yourself up and going. And also make sure that your prices are clear cut as well. I mean, I have a price list for whatever my work may be, because some people might want to underprice you or overprice you when it comes to your work and all that. So make sure you value yourself and value your work by making sure you have a price list for your work. So as a stylist, I have a price list for if I'm doing a birthday shoot, or if it's a red carpet event, or if it's just taking pictures for Instagram, that's a street style look. Yes, you can get paid for that as well. All those type of things. Even if I'm consulting someone to help them get new clothes for their wardrobe, there's a price list for that as well. Make sure you have that as a makeup artist. Oh, if you want to do wedding makeup, that's a whole different price to when you want to do everyday makeup for someone, or you want to do makeup for a photo shoot. If you're going to spend the entire day there as a makeup artist, that's a different price as well. Make sure you have your price list. So when someone comes at you, you're ready. You're ready to go. And make sure you put it on your socials as well, so people know that this is my price, this is what I do, and this is how good I am. So my price is worth it, and do not compromise on that level. So just to round off, I just say social media is a very good tool for you to pivot, not just in Nigeria, but internationally, and to be able to get yourself to that standard. LinkedIn as well is the biggest thing you can use when you want to work with international companies, when you want to do photography for international companies. Right now, the rest of the world is looking at Africa for content. They want young African creatives to work with them. Trust me. Why is WizKid almost the face of Nike at this point, getting Nike t-shirts and all that? It's because they want African content. Look at Mr. Easy. Look at Burna Boy. Look at how, the rest of the world is looking at these people and saying, wow, Niniola, she is the queen of house for all of Africa and more and beyond that. People want African content. So don't ever fall into the narrative of there's too many people doing what I do. There's no room for me. There is always room for you, but make sure you put your best foot forward by joining in and making sure you are a part of this new digital age. If you don't know how to use it, YouTube is there. Search for anything you like. How to use Twitter properly, how to use Instagram properly, how to hashtag properly, how to use Reels, all of that. When you search it, if you it will come up. There's tutorials there for you, and it's all at your fingertips. So I suggest that make sure that you do that. So that's it from me. Thank you. If you do have any questions, let me know.
Thank you very much, Dami. That was an awesome keynote speech. And I believe Dami has highlighted everything you need to get ready, both from social media platforms to starting small, right? Having your price lists. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have comments. Thank you, Dami. I believe there is no question. Okay, so thank you very much, Dami, for coming on board. We love
No
having.
problem.
Thank you. So we'll be moving on very quickly, very quickly to our first general session for today. Will be taken by Undubisi Sunday. Is a product associate and the head customer support at Mint Digital Bank. Sunday, you here?
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Sunday. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Nice to have you. Are you
Yeah,
ready for us?
yeah, of course. Same here.
Okay. Thank you very much. So you have the floor. Sunday will be taking a session that I'm very sure concerns everybody, how to use social intelligence in this digital age. How can you leverage on your social network and ensure you can use that to catapult you to um, a very necessary place in leveraging the digital age. Thank you, Sunday.
All right. Thank you. I don't know you're Stephanie, right? All right. Can you guys hear me? Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I won't be enabling my video, but if you can hear me, it would be nice if you can open your mic and just let me know or drop a text in the chat box. I just need to. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, we
Thank you.
can.
Okay. So, unfortunately, like I said, I wouldn't be able to open my camera. I'm so sorry about that. I wasn't really prepped to that extent. Okay. So, my name is Sundin Dubisi, and I currently work with Mint Digital Bank. I head the customer support unit, and I am also a product manager associate at Mint. So a bit of, I said, background. I was the past MCP for ISEC Nigeria. So yeah, I'm an ISEC. I don't know if there are ISECers in the call as well. So I'll be taking you guys the topic social intelligence and wrapping it around how to develop social intelligence and why, of course, you need it, and also all of that, bearing in mind the current digital age, and also wrapping it around ISEC itself. I think that's what the intro I got from Mujoyola. So let's start. I'm going to start with us talking about what social intelligence is. And forgive me, I'm not going to make it something like very formal. I want it to be almost like informal so that we can actually gel together. Because obviously that's what the topic is all about. So social intelligence, and again, I'm just going to put this out here before I start. All I have here is not exactly an objective, holistic view of what social intelligence means, but it also speaks to what it is. So if you go online and you probably, I mean, this space will give you an idea of what it should, of what it means. I mean, what social intelligence means. So let's get right into it. Now, social intelligence is your ability to effectively communicate your idea, bearing in mind empathy. I mean, when you're trying to communicate your idea, your ability to put into consideration the feelings of the other person. And that, of course, is empathy. Now, how they perceive the message you're trying to pass across or the idea you're trying to pass across. And is that timing, the period in which you're trying to communicate that particular message, is it a right timing, right? To put this into context for every one of us, I don't know, I'm sure there are a lot of people here. There's some people that in your social circle or social group, you must have blocked some people from, say, viewing your WhatsApp status. You must have deleted some people from your contacts. The question is why? Because obviously, perhaps some of their comments doesn't sit well with you. Perhaps they're judgmental, and that simply means that you're very much sensitive. You're very much sensitive to some informations, right? So your ability to when you want to communicate your idea, to bear in mind how will this person receive or perceive what I'm trying to say. So take for instance, if I'm trying to talk to the host now, and the tone of my message or the tone of my idea, whatever it is kind of like very harsh, but then with all good intention, I actually meant something good, but she's gonna receive a different message. So that is, I mean, what I'm trying to paint, the concept I'm trying to paint here is social intelligence. So it's more of external than internal. So you may want to compare social intelligence to emotional intelligence, but there's clear difference because emotional intelligence is more like internal, right? It's more of like an introspective journey, while social intelligence is more of outward, you considering other people, essentially, the emotions, okay? So that is a brief intro into what social intelligence is. Now, there are different abilities or different scenarios where this thing plays out. And I'm going to highlight a couple of them for us now. Now, our ability to to converse, to have a conversation with people. And don't forget that what is the most common way we communicate our ideas? There are two actually, but the most common one is the verbal one, where someone is speaking to you and you're listening, or you are speaking, or the other way around, right? So that is a verbal communication. And you know, the one of the parts where we, I don't know, maybe let me say in this part of the world where we sort of like don't get it right with social intelligence is there are some non-verbal cues that you give that are rude. And that also is part of communication, because take for instance, someone is trying to communicate something to you, and your facial expression is more like piss off, or your social expression is, I mean, your facial expression is more like I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this, right? Or even if you are listening, your non-verbal expressions is not in sync with perhaps the fact that you are listening, right? So in communication, how we pass the ideas that we have, how we pass it. And don't forget the second thing, the timing is the time in which you want to say whatever you want to say. Is it the right thing? So take for instance, you're leading a team, and you're trying to check on performance in your team, and one of your team leader, or your team member rather, who perhaps isn't really doing great, and you wouldn't know what exactly that person is going through, but all you wanted is just to review performance and to ask the person, hey, have you done this task, and what's the progress with you? But you wouldn't know if this person is actually going through a lot of emotional roller coaster, perhaps breakup or perhaps family issue. That is the part where you have to take into consideration timing. But obviously, you wouldn't know if that time is the right time or not if you do not have a prior cordial relationship with the person, so that he or she can be able to be vulnerable, stuff. And if I'm breaking up, let me from the background, so I would because it seems confusing. So the timing which we what is the trying to pass across. What is the aspect of
Okay, everyone. It seems like we lost Sunday for a bit. It's having some network issues. Okay, it's back.
hello?
Okay, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I'm really sorry. Like I said, my internet is fluctuating. Just nudge me, please, by something. Maybe drop a text in my chat box. So yeah, please, can you remind me, Stephanie, where I lost you guys? I really can't see, so I can pick up from there. Hello? Hello? Can anyone remind me where I stopped so I can pick up from there?
I was speaking about the fact that you probably do not know what's happening to them at that particular point because you're not close to them or something.
Right. Right. So yeah, that part is where I was talking about the timing from which at which you communicate with people. So we're still at communication part. I mean, having conversation with people where we sort of like should display social intelligence. Okay, we're still at the communication part. So the first thing I talked about is, I mean, the second thing is the timing, right? Now, the next thing is the tone, right? Like I've said, the tone with which you use with people. So take, for instance, you as a team member, you're trying to report something to your team leader. And if your team leader is one that really is so sensitive to tone, there's a way you're going to communicate your idea, even though you are actually just doing your job. To be honest, you're just doing your job. You wouldn't know, right? But the tone you're using to him sounds disrespectful. Right there, you both will fall off the wrong foot, and there will really be trouble. So, another scenario is the right word to use. Um, so I think from my place of work, I was trying to talk to someone about something, my direct product lead, and I realized that if I'd used that word, she wouldn't find it nice. So I had to rephrase how I put my I'm trying to pass across what I wanted to tell her, because I actually didn't mean to be rude, right? So the right word to use, you being able to know the right word to use, and the next thing is your intention. Your intention. So take for instance, you're in a space where somebody has just delivered amazing or whatever, even if it is not amazing speech, and you're trying to ask question, but you're not asking to know. You're asking to I don't know, to confuse. I don't know. I hope you understand where I'm going. You're not asking that question to actually know, but you are only asking to shine, probably, or you're asking the question to make the person look like the complete idiot. So, uh, of course, it won't go well with the person who just spend a lot of time trying to put up amazing thing, and all you can do is to put the person down by probably trying to be smart. So that is intention. So when you're trying to communicate your point, what are your intentions? When you're trying to communicate your point, your tone, you have to watch it. When you're trying to communicate your point, the right words, you have to find the right words to use. When you're trying to communicate your point, is it the right time to say that particular thing? So take, for instance, the person who was going through emotional roller coaster, like I had mentioned. Obviously, if you're a team leader and you pounce on that person and you're like, you're not performing, blah, 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 look, that person is literally going to probably leave the job, leave the role, and just quit, because it's more like you're not sensitive at all. So social intelligence is more like you being able to be sensitive to your social circle. So the next phase where you will display social intelligence as a human is being able to observe social rules. This part in ISEC where we sort of like take it so serious, where we say it's a non-judgmental space. You can be open. You can tell us anything you want. We're like family, and that's the truth. We're like family in ISEC. So you've been able to respect the ethos of a social group. Take for instance a religious group. I mean, our Muslim brothers and our Christian brothers, there is a whole lot of difference in that community. And you, as a Christian person, trying to probably say something in a Muslim dominated social circle, there is a way you have to comport yourself, the message itself. You don't have to appear, I don't know, but the point here is that you have to respect that social group, the social rules that exist, the cultural that they have, right? And also people of different cultural identity. I mean, the Yorubas, if you're Igbo, you're living in the West, or if you're Yoruba, you're living in the East. There's these differences, and you don't have. So the idea is you have to respect those social rules, because if you don't, I mean, you won't thrive. Not even a bit. You won't thrive in such a community of people, right? Now, and also we can extend that to gender difference. You know, there are some people where that some guys, when they say some sensitive things, where and some girls just pick up that topic. I think I'm not a Twitter person, but I think recently with the whole NSAS thing, because I was really active back then, I realized again that was when I begin to see some things around when guys make some insensitive jokes, and the female gender just picks it up, and then there's this backlash and back and forth and all that. Why is that? It's because that person who actually started that conversation is so insensitive to what that particular thing he or she has said to the female gender. And difference is just being different. It does not mean the person does not know much, or is less brilliant or less amazing than you, right? And it's when we start to understand this that we can then exhume that social intelligence in our interpersonal relationship with people. And another social difference group that we have is people's sexual orientation. And obviously, if we live in a, we live in a, I mean, we live currently in a world where everything is diverse. We have people of different gender. Some people don't even want, sexual orientation. So you have to respect that group itself, your ability to respect their choices, and understand that they're just being different, and that doesn't make them less of a human like you, right? So that part is you respecting social rules of wherever you find yourself. So it could be a religious gathering, it could be a cultural gathering, it could be people of different sexual orientation, it could be people of different gender difference from you. So your ability to respect that, and whenever you are passing across your message or you are relating your interpersonal relationship with them, really will help you to um, be socially intelligent. Okay. So another part is the feedback mechanism that exists, and in this scenario, it's more in a sort of like a team situation, or yeah, it's more like in a team situation or in a social gathering. Yeah, I may say that, or in your social circle. I put that way. So take for instance, some people, there's a way they would love to receive feedback, and some people, they don't mind if you give me feedback anyway. I don't mind, right? And some people are so sensitive to to the way you give feedbacks. So if you understand, if I take for instance, if I understand how Stephanie, take for instance, takes feedback, I can tell you that I will never follow up the wrong foot with her in every of our every interface with which we have to communicate or do anything together as a team, because I understand how she wants feedback. So perhaps if something, she's doing something that is not right with me, I call her. What she would love to describe as a, or what she would describe as a good feedback mechanism is, if I call her, I wouldn't scold her in public. If I call her out, I mean, like, just like we have a separate space, me and her, and then I tell her, hey, I wouldn't like the way you say this, or I wouldn't think that this particular thing you did is actually the right thing. And she can also tell me, hey, this is the reason why I did it. Okay, it's not acceptable, because like, here, this is what, blah, blah, blah. And then we can settle it in that space. But if I just go ahead and like, hey, obviously you've been with us for like a long time, why would you do this? And then I just start lashing out with on her and all that. So clearly it means I've not known her, I am not empathic at all, and I do not know what social intelligence means, because I'm just going to ruin every experience for her of what it means to interact with human being. I'm just going to ruin it with for her. And I mean, it's just the same thing. Social, if you're really, let me just flip it around. If you're not socially intelligent, you will ruin the experience of relationship with everybody you meet. To be honest, you will ruin the experience. They would rather, stay in their locked out, or like just have a lone time and not talk to humans. They need. Have you met some? I mean, I'm sure you must have read or heard or met some people who really hates relating with people. That's because somebody has messed up what it means to interact with human being for them, and those ones are not socially intelligent. So that, of course, I hope that when we move to the next part, you understand why. Actually, I mean, immediately from the whole conversation now, I know that you would understand why it is very important that you as a human being, you're socially intelligent. So let's go to the next one, which is your ability to listen, listening skill. You know, a lot of time listening skill is more, it's getting, in my opinion, it's more like it's losing its meaning. It's becoming a cliche. Because like a lot of I've heard, and I'm sure you yourself must have heard people say this phrase or something a lot of time, and you're wondering if it really means anything. A lot of people listen to you speak because they are actively looking at your eye, actively giving you your time to mess up, and after you're done, they are only listening to reply. That it's not, let me not say listening, they're only hearing you so that they could reply you straight up. So it's not enough for you to calm down and keep looking at someone until, in your own word, they are done messing up, and all you do is fire back. Actively listening, if you are an active listener, you and that person who you are speaking to will have amazing conversation. Conversation, not monologue. Conversation. So what it means that, take for instance, if I'm describing my day to you, and I tell you, hey, I had a very rough day. I was stuck in traffic for 3 hours. I was all sweaty, and that's the reason why I couldn't do the job. And the next thing you're asking me is, but your phone was on, right? You were on WhatsApp, no? Because obviously you do not even care about the fact that I told you I was stuck in traffic for 3 hours. Even if I was on WhatsApp, I was stuck in traffic for 3 hours, all sweaty. You wouldn't even mind if that was a very healthy situation for me. All you're asking is, well, your phone was on WhatsApp, you didn't reply, or you did not do what you ought to do. Active listening would say, oh, so sorry about that. So maybe you go ahead and ask, did you get water to drink to cool your temperature? No, yes. Like, then the conversation keep going that way, and then the person understands, yes, this guy actually listened. He heard me say that I was all sweaty, and it was a very hard environment for me to stay in that bus for 3 hours. It's quite different from, but you were on WhatsApp, and it's 100% different from, but this job, this particular task, I've assigned it to you 3 weeks ago. How far? It's pretty different. It means you're just hearing the person to reply. You're not listening, right? So active listening is more like you put yourself in the shoes of that person. If you were the one stuck in that traffic for 3 hours, it's obviously not because the person does not want to do the job, but situations did not allow. So if you put yourself in the person's situation, you will know the right question to ask. You will know the right response to give. Right? So that is you listening actively. And recently, I was just reading something from HBR, and they mentioned some other skill sets that active listening still covers. It's not, again, active listening doesn't just stop at you actively paying attention to the person, and when the person is done, you said, okay, I understand you. All right, no problem. Let's just reschedule. No, there has to. It means you just want the space to just close and then you just go, because to listen actively or to be a good listener means that as the person is describing that experience or describing whatever or the scenario to you, you're putting yourself mentally in their shoe, right? And once you're doing that, then the person understand, yes, this person really cares, and he was really listening to me, and all I was saying, I was just wasting my energy ranting, you know. So let's go to the second part, which is why do we actually need people to be socially intelligent? What's the importance? So from the brief description I've given you guys, if you want to build a productive work environment, you have to be socially intelligent. A productive work environment. Because if you have ruined the team, what it means to have a team experience, what it means to interact with a human being, for everybody in your team, that gathering, because it's no more a team, is just going to be very toxic. that environment. So take for instance, there are some people like once for me, like I think I was seeing a video, I think a movie, I think last 3 days ago or something, I don't know. So the question they asked, this young lady was trying to it was applying to Duke University, and the question they threw at her is, what motivates you to wake up from your bed every morning? That is exactly or a reason why they would want to select the person to get into Duke University. So where the scenario I'm trying to paint is this: some people, when they wake up from their house and they're heading to work, they're only there. The only motivation is just to earn their salary at the end of the month and get out. And to be honest, they cannot wait for 4 o'clock for the time to be 4 o'clock, and then they're out of the office, or 5 o'clock, whatever it is. But what motivates? So what will motivate your team to want to always be at your virtual meeting spaces or whatever it is it depends on how that group, the amount of social intelligence that everybody exudes in that group or in that team. So if you want to build a productive work environment, you have to be socially intelligent. And the next thing is it fosters effective leadership. So take for instance, because most importantly, for you to be a leader, you have to be able to communicate your idea, your point, very, very clear to everyone in the team. Very clear. You're saying A, and every element in your team understand that, yes, Stephanie is saying A. She did not mean A plus X, where X varies. Right? So it fosters effective leadership style. So when I'm able to tell everybody that, hey, we are going up north, and they understood very well that there's no deviation of any angle. We are going up north for real. And this and this and this and this are the things that we're going to do. And of course, when everybody as well is, because you're not just going to say something and people will take it that way. They will ask you questions. So you should anticipate to answer those questions effectively by also considering those people's emotions, because they're asking those questions, legitimate questions, obviously, because they have the good interest of the team at heart. That's why they're asking the question. So if you understand that, and you know that their intention behind the question they're asking is for the collective good of the team, then you will also answer the question from a place of understanding exactly what they mean, understanding the intention behind the question. Then you answer the question effectively, bearing in mind empathy. So it fosters effective leadership, and it fosters effective team bonding. So just like I described earlier of take for instance someone who was going through emotional roller coaster, and the team leader wouldn't know. I mean, if the team leader had a very good relationship with this person, and everybody in the team, they regard themselves as family, that means I'm able to share my deepest secret, or I'm just this very much vulnerable with everybody in the team. I see it as a second family where I can tell everybody my problem, and they won't judge me for it. They would rather provide support and serve as support system for me. So obviously, I would love to be a part of that group because we are bonded by a collective purpose. Anyway, the other way around, it can happen as well. If everybody is disintegrated, I don't care. Nobody tells you about their secret, and then you wouldn't even know what is happening in their personal lives. Right? So, and obviously, if you're socially intelligent, it helps us to build effective communication skill, which I've just said. So it helps you to understand how is that, because if you bear in mind that whatever you say, I mean, however you pass your message, let me put it this way, however you pass your message, either verbal or non-verbal, considering number one, the timing, the tone, what else? The right word and the intention. If you put all of this in mind and you audit the whole idea first before you pass it across to the people, then they will be able to understand, and that means that you have effectively passed across the idea that you want, which is effective communication skill. So how can we develop social intelligence? To be honest, this is just a disclaimer. I wouldn't. I'm not sure there's an objective solution or like an objective thing you have to do that will help you build this skill. But for me personally, um, there are a couple of things that I put here that I think just two of it also that I think you can do and will be helpful. And that is you listening to understand and listening to put yourself in the shoes of the person that probably you are conversing with. So your ability to listen, and I've already described what it means to listen, effective listening skill. I described that area earlier. So if you practice the act of listening, I'm sure you will understand how to respond or to communicate effectively and build up your social intelligence skill. And then the next thing is retrospective learning. I don't know if this exists, but for me, I had to put it up because it has really helped me somehow. So what does it mean? It means that, take for instance, myself and Stephanie, we had an episode and I got back home. My ability to sit down and think back, review everything that happened, how I said this, that to her, how my nonverbal cues that I had displayed in that space, whichever, my ability to review everything and probably have another space with her or another conversation with her and say, hey, I'm so sorry. The last time we had that conversation, I was sort of like giving you some uninterested non-verbal cues, or like I was giving some non-verbal cue that looks like piss off or something. I am really sorry, because you will realize that when you audit your every episode that you have with people, obviously you can't do it for everybody, but I think that for majority of the people that matters to you in your social circle, if your ability to go back and retrospect on some of those conversations you've had, the space you had with them, and know if you have actually messed up an experience for the person, or you have pissed the person off somehow, will help you understand how best to relate with your social circle. But if you're the type that once the episode is done, you're like, you don't even care, you don't even think about it. And then the next time you repeat the same thing that you have done until the whole thing builds up and the person busts out one day and like, hey, enough is enough, I'm done. And this cuts across every relationship, every relationship. So retrospective learning will really help you because it will help you to understand people, the people around you, your social circle, and it will help you to know how best to relate with them, and also to know when to ask to say anything, and also help you to know how to choose your word, to choose the right word. So essentially, you just have to, your ability to audit your conversations, meetings, spaces, episode with people, especially people that matters to you or people from your place of work. That really could help you build that social intelligence skill. But don't forget, it's not a massive thing. Like I said, it is more of you being, and if you ask me in a very layman, social intelligence is you being a human. Be a human. It's only a non-human, let me not say, obviously, a non-human would be an animal that will relate with people and piss them off and wouldn't even care, right? So that's just the opposite of social intelligence. So obviously, it simply means you being human as much as possible, as much as you can be. So in the context of ISEC, as Mojo has asked me um, to say, it's more of you taking all of this learning and understanding how you can manage your team. If you're an LCVP, if you're a team member, if you're a team leader, MLM, whatever it is, the whole subsystem that we have in ISEC, how you can leverage on the fact that you have to make people's experience awesome, amazing, and not to piss them off. and not to make it such that once they're done human, or once they're done having conversation with you, they feel less of a human. That is really, really derogatory. So that is it to wrap it up in the context of Isaac. So I have a couple. Stephanie just told me I have, I think, 9 minutes or so, or less now. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the remaining time to answer questions. If you've got question, I don't know if Stephanie will be moderating the question as well. So if you will be, no problem. I have some. Is it okay that I take some personal direct message? I think. Yeah. Okay. So if you have question, you can pop it in.
Okay, thank you very much, Sunday. I really enjoyed the session. I can say one very important thing I learned when what you outlined is active listening,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's very important. A very major way you can do that is to emphasize with the person, putting
Yeah.
yourself in that other person's shoes.
Yeah.
I believe it's very, very important, as well as introspective thinking. I do this a lot actually, but you have been able to put it in another light for me. That after I have a
Right.
call out with someone, I actually replay it
Yeah.
from a third point of view to see,
Yeah.
okay, I think I said something wrong, or maybe it's
Yeah.
what I said or did that
Yeah.
triggered a wrong response from the other person. So thank you
Yeah.
very much
Very
for the
important.
session. Any questions from anybody? I don't think people have questions. I see that as a good sign. It means the session was really, really clear. If
Yeah.
people do not have questions, no other questions. We have like 4 more minutes to go.
Okay, sorry, I don't know, like if somebody sent me a direct message, is it okay I reply her? Fatily or lighter, yes, I remember you from Futa. Is it okay? I didn't even take the permission, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's fine.
yeah, okay, she's asking if I recall her from, yeah, yeah, I do. We can also connect, you can find me on LinkedIn, Sunday in Dubisino. Yeah, yeah, I remember you very much well. So yeah, if there's any question, anybody, you can ask. I suppose
Okay.
there's a question.
Okay, I believe there is no questions. So is there any last words you want to leave us with?
Okay, so I don't think there is much, but obviously everybody here seems new. I don't know anyone, but all I can say is that you guys should leverage on this particular Nigeria is having, and make sure that you become a better version of yourself. And yeah, don't forget to be a human. That is what it means to be social intelligence. Yeah, that's all I can say for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Um, thank you for being here Sunday. Really appreciate the session. I'll be moving on. Okay, before I move on, I actually want to see people's reaction. How do you think about the conference so far? Are you enjoying it? You're learning? I believe most of us here came for knowledge and networking. So, are you enjoying the session so far? Any reactions? Okay, okay, all right. So value packed. Hmm, I've learned quite a lot. Okay, okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, okay. Michael says specifically the mention of active. I believe it's active listening. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to our next session. It's a partner slot, it's partner space by one of our national partners, which is PwC. And Rolly Elisi is the one taking the session. Rolly is the manager in people and organization advisory for PwC. She is currently mapped to organizations in the financial services industries, and has led various human resources transformation projects. She has led various conversations around the future of work and is currently focused on leading organizations on digital workforce transformation. Prior to her experience with the PwC, she has worked with one of Nigeria's leading banks, where she successfully developed and implemented vital business and human resource strategies, programs, and processes that drove the achievement of key business results. Okay, Rolly, we are ready for you. Are you ready?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Happy
afternoon.
to be here.
Happy to
How you
have
all
you too.
doing? All right, thank you very
Okay. So you
much.
have the floor.
Thank you. Before I just quickly, if you just give me a few minutes, I'll just put up my slides and share it before I start. Okay, so thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Rolly Assisi, like Stephanie has mentioned. Thanks, Stephanie, for such a warm welcome. I hope everyone has been having a nice time today. I joined towards the end of the conversation around communication, and it sounded very interesting. My own session is focused on upskilling for the digital age, predominantly focused around new world, new skills. Wow, who helped me write up my presentation? That's nice. Someone has just helped me scribble. Thank you. Okay, so I will be predominantly focused around new world, new skills. COVID-19 has indeed facilitated or fast-tracked what a lot of people have been speaking about, the future of work, and they have brought it closer home to every single one of us. In fact, not all of us had assumed that, in fact, if they had woken us up January 2020 and said that this is how the world will look like today, we probably would have said no. We wouldn't have imagined a world where we will all be wearing face masks, or where some organizations are closed and some organizations are working half remotely, half at work, and others are braving it out there and going to work full time. However, what that has done is it has brought us to a place where we realize that there are indeed new skills that we have to learn or that we have to acquire to be able to function in a world that will be significantly different in the world in the future. All right, we all must have heard about the fourth industrial revolution, and that is something that should be at the forefront of our minds, because that is what we received in the sense COVID-19 gave us as a teaser. All right, I will be speaking around 4 key areas. I will introduce you to upskilling, which I've started in a sense already. Then I will speak about the benefits of digital upskilling. And then I would speak about new world, new skills. Then I will speak about how to adapt to the new normal. All right. All in all, I should be done in exactly 17 minutes from now. So I will be out of I would be out of your hair in a sense, 17 minutes from now. All right, so in introduction, what is upskilling? Upskilling is very simple. It's just the experience involves learning how to think, act, and thrive in a digital world. It's a simple, very simple and very basic. How am I going to think? How am I going to act? How am I going to thrive in a digital world? What are the skills that I need in this new world? And how am I going to acquire those skills to become the person who can thrive in a digital world? That's as simple as it can get. But why digital upskilling? Why digital upskilling? If anyone has heard about digital upskilling, can you please put up your hand? I'm not sure I can see, but Stephanie, I would need you to just please help me find out from the class if anyone has heard about digital upskilling and what it is that they know about it.
Okay.
If there is anybody, please put up your hand and let's see.
Okay, no hands up yet.
No hands are up. Are we saying that we all don't know what digital upskilling is? Yes, Adetola's hand is up.
One hand up.
Yes, let's hear from Adetola. Can we unmute Adetola, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So basically, I think digital upskilling is trying as much as possible to acquire new skills that are more relevant in the digital age.
Fantastic. Thank
Okay.
you. All right. So I had explained it. I wanted to just check if we are following, if we're engaging. Okay. If anyone wants to speak, you would just please say your name and sort of give me an idea of what you do. All right. It would help tremendously as we go along. All right. So why do we think that digital upskilling is important? Why do we think that it is important today? I think I've mentioned it. I also want to see another person's hand up and just give us an idea of why you think it's important to us today. The masterclass. You muted your mic. Do you want to speak, sir?
No hands up. Okay, we have one hand up.
Michael Aderi. Yes, please, Michael.
All right. Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Michael.
Yeah.
Michael Adeoye.
Okay.
I work as a customer support partner in a telecoms organization.
Okay.
I think digital upskilling is very important to me. In that the times itself says it to my face. I mean, times are evolving. There's a lot of changes going on, and if I decide to remain where I am currently, it therefore means that the time would actually leave me behind. So it's important that I upskill myself so that I can also move with the times. Just as the time is evolving, I also evolve, meet the demand that is currently in the trend now, and of course satisfy my customers appropriately.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well done. Well said. Right. So I will give you some insight into a PwC. PwC would typically conduct a survey every year. And this is the 23rd survey that PwC conducted. And we would review the data, and this is what the data says. You know, data is king, right? Some people, I mean, we can say anything, or by the time you hear actual responses from CEOs. So this is the PwC's 23rd annual global CEO survey. And what did it say? 74% of CEOs were concerned about the availability of key skills. And now these key skills are those that are required in the world of work today and in the world of work in the future. 74% of CEOs are bothered about that. And what is the key thing that we were able to distill from this information? The skills remain hard to get. So it means that we must pay attention to how we get this skill. That means to the fact that we need to acquire new skills. All right. Also, 38% of CEOs who are the most advanced in delivering their upskilling program were very confident about growth over the next 12 months. So in other words, upskilling programs impact the bottom line in these organizations. Only 20% of those who are just starting their upskilling journey agreed. Now, I will explain further to tell you that people who just start upskilling programs don't necessarily see the results of it immediately until they now begin to entrench the behavior within the organization, and then there is a growth. Okay, so upskilling, progress on upskilling can breed confidence. So by the time you start the process, people are now confident of what they're doing, and they're able to, at least they're confident enough to say that my organization can stand the test of time. In fact, the key word there is that the organization can build resilience, okay? The organization now has resilience to survive today and in the future. All right. So you can imagine, think about it in this scenario. You have organizations through COVID-19 that had not started an upskilling program. They struggled for a bit before they were able to rebalance. Some organizations had to ensure that they have people working on site. Some organizations like PwC and the rest of the Big Four and other organizations that had started upskilling programs, immediately they were able to kickstart that, and everybody is working remotely. Today, 100% of the workforce can work remotely if they choose to, or they can go into the office to work. So these are the things that now make organizations and individuals know that it is possible for things to just grind to a halt if I do not acquire the skills that I need today. And like the last speaker just said very clearly and succinctly, it is staring us in the face. All right, 41% of CEOs said that their upskilling program has been very effective in creating a strong corporate culture. So what happens is that by the time people start a behavior or a way of life, it becomes, what is culture? Culture is a way of life. So by the time people start a behavior, you find out that it becomes the norm. So imagine now meetings that used to happen in person before. Most organizations now realize we don't need to travel from Sokoto, where, for instance, if you want to use a bank, we don't need to travel from Sokoto and come to Lagos to have a meeting, which was the norm before. All right, now you can actually log on to your video conference and have a meeting without spending so much overhead. That is a key thing. And what has that done? That has created a digital culture, because people are now in a place where once you think of a meeting, the first thing you think about is, can we have it on Zoom? Can we have it on Microsoft Teams? Can we have it on Google Hangout? Can we have it on different platforms that exist today? And then also, more talk than action. 18% of CEOs say that they have made significant progress in establishing an upskilling program that enables a mix of soft, technical, and digital skills. What is all of this telling us? It's telling us that if CEOs have this at the top of their mind, then individuals will need to spend more time in ensuring that they are upskilling themselves. Different organizations have different platforms. You now have a lot of free courses online. And I will also show you one way to start upskilling yourself immediately. Very soon, before the end of my presentation, you will get to know a free way right now that PwC provides, that you can start your upskilling program immediately. All right. So why also is it beneficial to me, right? Enhancing your digital fitness of you or your people. I mean, what does it do? It creates sustainable innovation and growth culture. I just spoke about culture right now. You know, they say that one of the key skills that are required in the future of work is curiosity. It sparks interest. People are curious. People want to know what's happening. I can tell you that Google Meet before now didn't have a raise hand button because no one used it. But now that they find out that a lot of people are using the Google Meet platform, they just included a raise hand option, because things have to continually evolve. And that is in a space of how many months? In a space of 9 months, they have already included a raise hand option. They have included, you can actually have a background. So things are just evolving at a much faster pace. In fact, I always say when I speak like this, that things are changing at the speed of thought. All right, so increased adoption of learning tools. People are now learning. You have Coursera, you have LinkedIn Learning, you have so many learning platforms right now. So there is now a real drive for people to go in and begin to learn. Organizations are already rolling out learning options for people so that they can increase their learning. Why not you? Why don't we all sort of just begin to adapt to this new way of working? All right. Also, it creates a growth mindset, right? Creating a mindset of how you can do things better. So for instance, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we were speaking about the processes that he or she wanted to automate within their organization. And I said to him very clearly, I said, look at the tasks that require approvals right now and just create a workflow. Instead of them sending you an email and then you type approved on it, just create a simple workflow. And that workflow will ensure that things are done very quickly. And this is for situations where you need an approval, and those approvals are gotten, are gotten on a daily basis. So you can even get 1,000 requests, People are now thinking, how can I increase my pace? All right. So these are the reasons why upskilling is important to you. Once you upskill, then you start to think of how you can increase your pace at work. A colleague of ours also just created a bot. The other day we were told to create a bot. Now, if I want to present information to clients, I will be thinking of how can I present this information using Power BI. It will make the information easy to read and easy for the client to understand and easy for them to appreciate. So all of this comes because we have gone through a program that has upskilled, that has increased our learning, increased our understanding of digital tools that we can use in providing clients with service that can make them, in fact, we say in PwC, reimagine the possible. Okay, now what are the key forces driving the upskill imperative? I think I've sort of mentioned them one way or the other, but to put them in 4 key buckets, I will speak about, one is job automation, which I just spoke about. A lot of things are happening now and there is a lot of automation. So there is a need for us to begin to upskill so that our jobs remain, or we are able to progress into jobs that are relevant in today's world. All right, decreasing talent availability. So the skills that are required today are different from the skills required yesterday. In fact, it was during COVID-19, my 80-year-old mother learned how to use WhatsApp call and WhatsApp because she realized that she needed to communicate. She needed to continue her prayer. So she said, oh, I can't go to work. I can't go to church. So I need to pray. And to be able to pray, she had to learn how to use WhatsApp, right? Now, in her time, that wasn't a capability required, but was she talented? Yes, she was talented in her organization at the time, all right? But now she has realized that she, in fact, had to learn how to use these platforms so her students can still take lectures just before the time when schools shut down. Okay, so those are the things that are important to me. And it will, if we do not upskill very quickly, then there will be an increase in rates of unemployment, and people who have the skills will come in and take the jobs that are available. Decreasing mobility of skilled workers, all right? So, different things are happening right now. There is mobility everywhere, but you can only be mobile if you are talent. So you can only go from one market to another if you are talent. And then the aging demography. I just spoke about an 80-year-old woman in the workforce who is still in the workforce today because she's a lecturer. The truth of the matter is that there is a limit to how long they can remain in the workforce. And of course, that there are new skills right now that are needed for them to remain in the workforce, all right? Okay, so upskilling needs across industries. This is just to give you a full view that organizations and individuals need to focus their energy on acquiring new skills, and because the current skills that they have are becoming obsolete, and this is what is happening. The jobs that are at risk of automation, at the time that this report was done, education was not at risk of automation, but now education is now clearly in a place where they have to rethink how learning happens, because learning is happening on different platforms. So what does learning mean? You can see that transportation and storage are beginning to, because of transportation, we were hearing that there was going to be self-driving cars and different things like that. So this just tells you what is happening and at what pace and at what speed it's happening. But even though we know that, yes, there is a need for us to become digital, to upskill, right? There are several reasons and challenges with upskilling or the need to be digitally minded, right? Skills. Teams lack the skills that are required, which is why we're speaking about upskilling. Processes, organizations are stuck with one way and are not generally thinking of how to, improve these processes. The big question that I always ask organizations and people who are within these organizations, the big question I always ask is, what is the best way to do this? If you are inflexible, in fact, particularly in Lagos, you can imagine that the whole world is outside now, okay, because everyone wants things to be business as usual, but the honest truth is, we are not at business as usual. All right, leadership. I mean, top financial performance say that leadership is digitally savvy and helps the workforce think in a new way. So if leadership is able to think in a new way, people will think in a new way. The workforce, 28% of top financial performance say that say that they lack a strategic focus on training. These are the things that are the challenges with becoming digital. But with COVID-19, going digital is imperative, like I had mentioned earlier, because organizations who fail to adapt will fail to survive. And so, I mean, what if investing in a digital workforce and culture offers the greatest enabler for innovation and growth? That's it. That's the new way to go. That's just the way to go. So, new world, new skills. How do we, new world, new skills. What do we need to do? How do we acquire new skills? We should assess where we are today and then begin a fitness program. We should, in that fitness program, digital fitness program, where we will increase our knowledge, we will upskill. And in PwC, we have what we call a digital lab, and in that digital lab, you will outperform. So upskill brings you to a place where you have digital insight and then your performance begins to increase as an individual. Even organizations will begin to increase in their performance. A more holistic approach, all right, to this, a more bigger view, which was conducted by PwC's Kazenbach Center, highlighted 4 key things that are necessary for digital upskilling. One is that to know the right skills, the right digital skills and the right capabilities that you need. Then the right mindset. So how is my mind? How am I thinking? How do I want to approach this? And then the right relationships. Do I know the right people at the right places that would help me to achieve this? Am I building the right relationships? Am I building the right relationships? All right. And then do I have the right behavior? So the big question I always ask is, when you have a document, would you rather print? Some people say that the Gen X and the millennials will not print. That's also true. That may also not be true. The big question is, what are the behaviors that we have? If you have a document, would you rather print it or you rather print it, or you rather review it on your laptop or your device and save the planet? All right. Now, I would like to introduce you to PwC's digital fitness app, a snapshot of it. Now, the PwC digital fitness app, what does it do for you? It helps you to assess your digital fitness. Now, remember when I started speaking about how you need to know your digital IQ and know where you are today. So the PwC digital fitness app will help you to assess where you are today. It will provide you with content that you need to be able to grow from where you were to where you should be. All right. So it will give you content, and then it would give you the opportunity to grow your digital fitness. All right. In this, you have curated content from all over the world, all over the world. All right. You can explore hundreds of content across 3 critical perspectives, from business to experience. So for those who are, for instance, I think Adetola also, who said he was in customer partnership. Yes, you have experience. So you have content on digital assistance, customer experience, digital marketing. You have content around technology. You have content around cryptocurrency, artificial learning, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. You have content around all of this. But then, how do we adapt to this upskilling process? We need to, first of all, set a clear direction. Where are we going? And lead from that direction. Then, what are my gaps? I've told you that there's an app that will provide it, but what are the gaps? Do I know what they are? Upskilling, both upskilling and reskilling are important. So I knew how to use Excel 1999 before. Do I know how to use Excel 2010? I should reskill. I should upskill and reskill. build on the culture of the foundation that you have, and then provide time, make the effort, provide the energy that you require, be motivated to learn. In PwC, we do help organizations to do this. We help organizations to understand where they are. We help organizations to build the skills required. We help organizations to support them to build the behaviors that will support in building a cultural foundation. And then we develop and we will implement upskilling programs. And we also support organizations to evaluate if these programs are working. Now, I will end by saying this, that I would introduce to you PwC's digital fitness application. Now, what this is that it's completely free from now to, it has been free since the beginning of COVID-19 to July 31st, 2020. So you have the opportunity to start to upskill now. Just use this invite code, download it from the App Store, or download it from using Google Play, and you will have access to hundreds of content. Do not postpone your digital, your upskilling program. Do not postpone it. Start today and start now. The future is digital. Let's shape that future together. It's time to take action. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I think I exceeded my time, but I will take any questions that anyone has.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rolly. It was a very clear session. I'm very sure everyone learned from the session. I don't believe there's any questions.
Somebody's hand is raised. Patrick, if I raised his
hand is raised. Okay, Patrick.
Okay, good afternoon, Ma. And thank you so much for the session. It was indeed eye-opening and very, very necessary. My concern, however, is the app you just introduced us to, PwC fitness, digital fitness. You said it's free up to July 31st. Does it mean at this point, July 31st of 2020?
2021, actually, I'm sorry. That was an error on my part. It's free till next year, July 2021. I'm sorry. That's an error on my part. It's free till next year, yes.
All right, very good.
So you can do it right now.
Right away, yes.
You can all do it right away, please. I'll change that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Rolly.
You're welcome.
We only have a comment here that says thank you from Tiwalade. Okay. 1:46. Right on time.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, I believe there are no other questions. Thank you very much for the session, Rolly. It was lovely having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Is data science Python on the platform from Andrew Aladele? Yes, there is data science. There is Python. There is.
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, thanks a lot. I got that.
Okay.
Any more questions? If not, thank you and have a good day.
Okay, I believe there are no more questions. Thank you very much, Rolly.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for still being here. Very sure we have learned a lot from the sessions today, and everything we have been learning has been very